On this day, on the way of his shooting, Charlie Kirk looked full of life, and even amidst his address, he was so much articulate on the issues he was raising. But now he left a widow that has sparked outrageous reactions from different people bearing the actions that has come lively online. Uh, Erika Kirk is being criticized, or rather being discussed, because of the actions. And one of the action is by showing intimacy to J.D. Vance, that is the deputy president of the United States. So today I've gathered a reaction or reaction of videos from different Americans feeling that this is not just a friendship, as she is trying to put it, but this is an intimacy. There's something that is happening behind the tent, and Mrs. Vance must be worried about this. So let us watch these
which
reactions.
Can be a sign of affection and or romantic interest. It's the move to slide her hands up and grasp and cradle his head that is getting so much attention. This is a move that we women do when we are in a deep kiss, which is why it looks so very intimate. Erika then ends her hug by grasping his shoulders, which is a sign of affection and closeness. That said, grief can do really wonky things to humans, but this is wonky for sure. I'm Yanni Sarnblad, and I teach microexpressions and all things nonverbal.
Yeah, let's not overthink what we saw. That woman putting her hand through that dude's hair on the back of his head, and him gleefully putting his hands on a widow's hips. You cannot try to flip a story like that because we saw it with our own eyes. And here's how I am pretty sure this is happening, all right? The evangelicals love to talk a big game. They love it. Yet everyone should go watch Billy Corbin's documentary on Jerry Falwell Jr. Because Jerry Falwell Jr. is a cuck. And because of that, Billy Corbin interviewed the pool boy that was stooping Falwell Jr.'s wife. And he dishes. He doesn't name a lot of names, but he dishes on evangelicals behind the scenes. Let me also just say this. For Erika Kirk, if this is true, well played. Well played. Because not only are you keeping the organization alive, but now you are making sure that it will quite literally never end. J.D. Vance can deny it, but he is Peter Thiel's B word. The only reason that he is in this position right now is because of Peter Thiel. Erika Kirk hitches herself to that surveillance spyware technology wagon. Oh, she's good forever.
Usha, you in danger, girl. Usha Vance, you should look for an exit plan. Because I've been married for, oh my God, I don't even know how many years. Almost 9 years. I've been with my wife for almost 15 years. And I've never even thought about putting my hands on another woman like he has for Miss Erika Kirk. So there's that. Yeah, Usha, you should start to question a few things if you haven't already. It's pretty alarming. It's pretty alarming what has been happening. And especially what your husband's been saying, about like mixing cultures and all that. He doesn't seem like he's a fan of that right now. I'd look for an exit plan.
Holy shit, they are trying to replace Usha Vance with Erika Kirk. Because Erika Kirk and J.D. Vance is their Christian nationalist wet dream. And you won't convince me otherwise. Because what is this? What is this body language? When did we start putting our hands up in the hair of our friends when we hug? Yeah, no, you don't. This is weird. Oh, and then there's this one. JD, why are your hands so low? There's no reason for them to be on her hips, but there they are. But if that's not enough, here is her introducing him at Turning Point.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
And if you're not convinced yet that they're trying to replace her with Erika Kirk, this is him when asked by a student about him and his wife's difference in like their religious beliefs, and he ends it with this.
Do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
He wants her to fall in line. He wants her to be a Christian nationalist just like him. And if he can't convince her, he'll find a new one.
Erika Kirk's heart healed faster than Trump's ear. Don't you agree? And Usha Vance, JD Vance is gone. You know, MAGA, the Republicans, this evangelical group, they're never going to accept her. I think they're going to switch, Usha Vance for Erika Kirk. They're going to switch them out. First of all, Erika is white, blue eyes, everything. Usha is not any of that. They want that for JD Vance. JD Vance is going to take over the party after Donald Trump. And they're not going to have someone like Usha, being at the White House and being at command of everything with JD Vance. So the way Erika just grabbed my boy JD Vance and just like caressed the hair, everything, and the way JD Vance grabbed her by the waist, like, my boy, we all know what's happening. And JD Vance, I hate his guts, but Usha, you okay, girl?
Listen, when the Lord says meet each other with a holy kiss, I don't think he meant that kind of embrace. You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny? The internet is not letting go of this Erika Kirk, JD Vance situation. And honestly, they shouldn't. Because we all thought the same thing. Don't lie. Even the conservatives who claim they didn't notice was sitting there clutching their pearls like, Lord, please don't let me agree with the liberals on this one. Now, let's be honest. Charlie Kirk is not the love of Erika Kirk's life. You can tell by the way she moves. That woman hugged JD Vance like he smelled like purpose and opportunity. And JD? Oh, he was standing there like a man who forgot his vows but remembered temptation. See, that's the thing about these so-called family values conservatives, right? They gonna teach you some purity until those mics cut off. But the moment somebody blinks too slow, they'll forget all about them 10 commandments. Because see, when real chemistry shows up, all that fake morality flies out of the window faster than a campaign promise on election day.
The media's been calling, and you have been asking what is going on with Erika Kirk and JD Vance. Is there anything more than friends? Well, I think we got some body language that's quite revealing at the talk they did, I believe it was yesterday. All right, first thing, as soon as they make eye contact, she does that head tilt. And that is deep emotional recognition. The formality is gone. Now, her arms are in a fig leaf, right? So that is protecting herself just a little bit. It could be from the audience, from the cameras, from the motion of the situation. But it's unusual to walk very far in a fig leaf position, but that is what she's doing. Now, his arms are wide open to welcome her. But here's where it gets interesting, is that she gets into that hug and puts her hand on the back of his neck. So that is more than just casual acquaintances. And actually, she can control his attention and where he looks. So this is a deep connection move right here. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Is the real tell to see how any couple is doing together is how close their pelvis is together. Now here, they're almost as close as you can get without touching. If they were touching, I'd be like, for sure, there's a little, secret lover, like, going on. They're a little bit apart, but not very much. So this has my eyebrows raised in suspicion. Now, the other thing that good couples do is they look at each other in close range with direct eye contact. Now, as they walk together on the stage, she is locked eyes with him, but I don't know that he's locked eyes with her. I think he's kind of looking around and a little bit more of a fuzzy type focus. Now, after the hug, again, she looks at him directly in the eyes, and he only glances up a couple quick times. So what this is saying to me is that she is a lot more intimate in this relationship than he is. And that sort of makes sense because guess what? He's married. And I would like to see a little bit more evidence to give him a yay or a nay on if they're actually a secret couple or not. I want to know what you think. You can base it on my analysis, on your own analysis, or just that gut feel. Put it in the comments.
Baby, the way Erika Kirk hugged JD Vance on the stage the other night at that Turning Point event was given very cringy and very disrespectful. That is not the way you hug a married man. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all, in her speech, as she's introducing him, she says, and I quote, "No one will ever replace my husband, but JD Vance has a lot of similarities." And then when this man comes on stage, she literally gives him this very intimate and passionate hug, as though her hands are all in the back of his head. Baby, the only thing that was missing was the kiss to seal the deal. Do you hear me? And then when JD Vance gets on the stage and starts his speech, honey, I don't know if the man was soft launching his divorce or what. He sits up there and say how he hoped that his wife changed her religion to Christianity because of what? Because of what? So now you're saying you want a Christian woman like Erika? I don't know, y'all. I know this lady is a grieving widow and her husband just passed away and all this other stuff. But every time that lady open her mouth, she gets cringy. She gets more darker. Her aura is off. She's off. She's just weird as hell. I don't know, y'all. What are your thoughts? What are your your opinions? But that was crazy.
Shit's getting weird. Part infinity.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD.
I don't see anything wrong with that, y'all. I see a lot of people like talking about her little speech and what she said about JD Vance, so on and so forth. And like honestly, I think people are reaching a little bit. So I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, with that being said, this is crazy. No, that's egregious. If any woman ever came up to me and hugged me like that and put their fangly fingers through my naps, it would be a conversation at the house. You don't hug your friends like that. I don't care. That shit was crazy. And then he put his hands up on her hips. I was surprised they didn't dip and dip and dip. You know what I'm saying? I'm back home now. The hand on the head is quite intimate. I don't know about that one. It was definitely weird. Didn't she hold Trump a little too long too? Listen, maybe she's just a super affectionate person. But we watched this and my wife looked at me and I was like, I ain't gonna let it happen. I'm gonna be like, you better get the fuck up off me, bitch. Me and my wife were talking about this. These people are smart. They're not dumb. They know there's cameras everywhere. They know what they're doing. Now, why they did it, I don't really know. Why JD Vance got up there and kind of low-key threw some digs and then kind of embarrassed his wife a little bit, I don't know. That's weird to me.
So after watching this video, what do you feel, or what do you think of this, or what do you see as the possible outcome of all this? Should the wife to JD Vance be worried about this, or it is just a mere friendship that is being taken out of context? Although people have explained that these are not it is not normalcy. In fact, in some instances, the issue of black and white is coming on. So tell us what you feel about it. If you're watching us for the first time, sorry for the lighting that has just gone off, but if you're watching us for the first time, kindly make your subscription also like and share this video. Thank you, and let's meet when we bring another trending issue.